That was Brittany.
And that's Jonathan. Today we're doing the Monday portion of the lesson, which is lesson 5. And we're going to begin by reading the key text, which is on the other page. But the people refused to listen to Samuel. No, they said, we want a king over us. Then we will be like all the other nations, with a king to lead us and to go out before us and fight our battles. That is 1 Samuel 8, verse 19 and 20. And then the Lord sends poverty and wealth. He humbles and he exalts, is 1 Samuel chapter 2, verse 7. So read the key text and see how people reacted to having a king. Why do you think they were excited to have a human king when they had the king of the universe as their leader? Do you think they understood what God had been doing through Samuel for all this time? Do you think they were happy that God listened to their desire for a king? Explain.
So, what I would say is, it happens all the time in the Bible, especially with the Israelites. If you look all the way back to Moses, all the way up to this point, the Israelites, the moment God pauses, I don't think he stops, he pauses for a minute and doesn't do an immediate miracle or something like that, they forget so quickly what God has done for them. And we do the same thing today. You know, you could go to church and be like, yo, God is so good. And then you get to school and be like, well, guess what? You have this surprise midterm, you failed, etc., etc. And you're just like, oh, God, why have you forsaken me? And you just get all stressed and stuff like that. You forget that God is there with you. There's no need to stress. Calm down. Let him take the reins. And it just happens all the time. So they just forgot. They knew they were there for what Samuel had done for them. They saw all the great things that he had done for them, and they got jealous. They wanted something else. They want to be like everyone else, and that's the problem. Everyone has this craving to go with the flow. Everyone wants to be like everybody else. Everyone wants something they don't have, and so same thing with Israel. They want something they didn't have.
They just want to fit in.
They just want to fit in. But God has called us not to fit in, but to fit out. Mm-hmm. All right? And they forgot that. God did not want them to be like everyone else. But they're like, but God, I just want like sneakers like everyone else has. I just want this coat that everyone else has. No, we're called to be set apart.
I think that a lot of people even today look at leaders and find their flaws and think someone else can do it better. But they also don't take the time to understand everything that's behind the scenes. So like they're saying, in the Monday portion, they're asking, do you think they understood what God had been doing through Samuel for all this time? They absolutely didn't, and they didn't care enough to look. Because they see what's on the outside and they see that there's inconvenient things sometimes, and they're like, ugh, I could do it better. But then they also don't want to do it themselves.
Mm-hmm. And like, they were there. It's like when you have, look at church, okay? Yes, the pastor preaches a nice message, but does the pastor run the church? No. There's many people who make sure that the service runs smoothly. Do all those people get thanked? No. AV, musicians, singers, deacons, elders, Sabbath school planners, teachers, the whole shebang adds to a perfect, well-planned lesson, as well as a platform coordinator and the whole shebang. But most of these things go unnoticed. Same thing with the things that God does in our lives. Most of them just go unnoticed because we focus on the big things.
Well, and even if going to that point, you also don't want to forget just the people who are there to listen, right? Because there would be literally no point if there was no one to minister to. But as if you're that person that just sits there and listens and is being ministered to, take everything in and accept and appreciate the time that these people are taking to minister to you, because
we don't get paid.
No, and you're there for a reason, and God is working through them. And if you can't appreciate the time that these people take, then get up and help.
Because you know how many times it happens in church where something goes wrong with AV and everyone gets up and they're all ready to storm the place and, take them and burn them at the stake out in the back church parking lot. How dare you not move on to the next slide during the service? It's like, guys, we're all human, and you forget people love to talk. And they like to just come up and like, hey, what's up? And you turn around and boom, you missed your cue. So there's a lot of things that are happening behind the scenes, and God is doing immense things for us behind the scenes. His guardian angels keeping watch over us all the time. Do we thank them on a regular basis? No. Do we know that God gave us breath? He's watching over us to make sure we don't get hit by a car, we don't crash. Do we always thank him for every little thing he does for us? No. And because of that, we only see the big things, and we judge him. And we're just like, well, so-and-so could probably do it better. So, yeah. That was my point.
So, if you have any points to add to that, let us know. Give us some feedback on the episode, on the Sabbath School class, anything that you want to tell us about, your testimonies, anything. Yeah. Email us. We want to talk to you because, yeah.
And also, if you disagree with our points, also let us know.
Yeah, debates are fun.
Yeah, you don't have to agree with everything we say. If you want to, like, well, I believe this. Cool.
We're totally open to listen to your point of view, and if you have a good point, we will take it into consideration. We're not the type of people that are like, no, just like this.
Especially if it's backed up using the Bible.
Absolutely.
And if you want to use Ellen White, try to reinforce it with the Bible. Even though Ellen White reinforces herself with the Bible. It's called over-redundancy. You learn it for school. Over-redundancy helps a lot. But yeah, we're not going to throw it out. And if you're here for an actual legitimate debate, not just for the sake of arguing, we can have a debate. But if you're just here to argue, get out.
If you want us to be open to your point of view, be open to ours as well.
Amen, sister.
So email us at info.lessonsforyou@gmail.com. You can comment on our videos. We're on YouTube and on SoundCloud, Real Time Talk. We're also on Facebook, Real Time Talk, or at Real Time Talk Podcast. You can message us on Facebook, or can you message on YouTube?
I think you can. I don't know how, but I think you can.
It's probably easier to just email us.
Yeah, just email us or leave us a comment. Like, that's...
If you want to email us to just tell us that you're listening and that you enjoy it, or even that you just like subscribed and you're not even listening, cool. I want to know who you are. I want to know who is listening to our things, because we spend time really late at night doing this.
Also, do you hear that? Do you hear that?
What?
I think it's the sound of the bell. Get the bell on. Get those notifications on. All right? Come on. You're not going to know of new videos if you don't get that bell on. Get it on.
Okay. Stay in school.
Sabbath school. Stay in Sabbath school.